For the cast of the hit sitcom Young Sheldon, success has often come with a price. From Raegan Revord's shocking car crash to McKenna Grace's serious health diagnosis, these are some of the real-life tragedies the cast has dealt with. Annie Potts brings her fair share of chaos to the Cooper family as Meemaw, and fans wouldn't have it any other way. Potts' success almost never happened, though, as the Ghostbusters star nearly lost her life before her acting career even took off. When she was 21 years old, the actor was involved in a terrifying near-fatal car crash. She recalled to The Guardian, "Drunk drivers, 3 carloads of teenagers in the middle of the day were drag racing down the wrong side of a 2-lane highway and ran head-on into the car I was in. Virtually every bone in the lower half of her body was broken. As a result, she had to undergo multiple operations over the years to help her heal. Thankfully, Potts was able to regain her mobility, but the tragic crash has had lifelong effects on her." She told The Guardian, "It took a very long time to recover. I'm still trying to recover." On an emotional level, it was one of the hardest things she's ever had to face. Potts added that the crash taught her about never taking anything for granted. Zoe Perry had some big shoes to fill when she took over the role of Mary Cooper on Young Sheldon. After all, Perry's mother, Laurie Metcalf, had previously played the part on The Big Bang Theory. It was a total coincidence that Perry landed the role, but Young Sheldon fans will agree that she's the perfect choice to play the younger version of Mary. That said, the physical similarities also help the performances gel.
I have some things working for me on my side in terms of my voice and some mannerisms.
Unfortunately for Perry, though, not every part of playing Mary has been pleasurable. During an interview with Mashable India, Perry was asked to reveal her favorite and least favorite things about her character. She admitted that she really dislikes one particular aspect of Mary's character because it leaves her in physical pain, telling the outlet, "Least favorite is probably her rigidity, because it's not only metaphorical but literal. I find that I am constantly tense when I am playing her, so at the end of the day, I'm a little sore. Hopefully her body is acclimated to the role by now." Raegan Revord plays Sheldon's sassy twin sister Missy. The character has been through plenty of ups and downs throughout the show, but Revord loves playing the part and admitted that she's heartbroken to see Young Sheldon come to an end after season 7. However, the actor has revealed that filming one episode in season 6 was incredibly distressing for her because of a scary ordeal she'd been through in real life. Before an episode titled "A Stolen Truck and Going on the Lam" aired, Revord took to Instagram to explain how she and her mom had once been in a shocking car accident. They were hit by someone who was driving under the influence.
At some point, you kind of realize that there's nothing you can do.
The accident definitely scared Revord. As a result, she was hesitant to get behind the wheel for the episode in which Missy steals and drives George's truck. She revealed in her post, "I had full-blown panic attacks and PTSD for weeks after the accident. The only way I was able to get through it was because of the most loving and supporting cast and crew." McKenna Grace has appeared on Young Sheldon many times as Sheldon and Missy's good friend Paige Swanson. However, the character of Paige is just one of many roles the accomplished actor has had in her young life. Between critically acclaimed turns in I, Tonya and Gifted, Grace also headlined multi-million-dollar blockbusters like Ghostbusters Afterlife. However, Grace's journey to movie stardom hasn't always been easy, as she's had to contend with some serious health issues along the way. She told The Hollywood Reporter that she'd been diagnosed with scoliosis when she was 12. This caused her a lot of stress as she tried to balance her career with her diagnosis. Grace told the outlet, "Even though it's not the type of thing that is a liability, I didn't want productions to overthink and think that I was a liability." Grace just kept her head down and got on with things. Even when she had to wear a brace on the set of 2021's Ghostbusters Afterlife, she still tried to keep her diagnosis private. But a year later, in 2022, she realized she couldn't go on as she was and took a break from her various acting projects to have spinal surgery. Her mobility was affected after the surgery, but ultimately it was successful. She told The Hollywood Reporter, "I'm starting to get back to my regular activities. I want to get in shape now that I fixed my spine because I didn't realize just how much my spine was hindering me." The Big Bang Theory universe would not be what it is today without Jim Parsons. He was still relatively unknown when he signed on to play the genius scientist Sheldon Cooper in 2006, but Parsons has since enjoyed a busy film, TV, and stage career. Throughout his meteoric success, however, Parsons has been weighed down by family trauma. His father, Chris, died in 2001, and the loss affected him for many years. Chris's death at age 52 ultimately factored into Parsons' decision to quit The Big Bang Theory after 12 seasons. He explained on David Tennant's podcast, "This is what I said to Chuck Lorre and Steve Milaro when I talked to them when I went back to work next year. I said, if you told me that, like my father, I had 6 years left to live, I think there's other things I need to try and do." Parsons had already started doing those other things and was performing a play in New York when he suffered more personal tragedies. In addition to his dog of 14 years dying, he also broke his foot while rehearsing. Parsons was also struggling with his mental health and knew something had to give. The actor recalled, "It was the scariest moment for the next couple of days because I felt like I was at the edge of a cliff. I was teetering and I saw something really dark." Parsons then chose to close the door on The Big Bang Theory. Ed Begley Jr. has made several appearances on young Sheldon as Sheldon's mentor Dr. Grant Linkletter. He often appears alongside Dr. John Sturgis and is portrayed as a positive, calming influence on the young genius. However, Begley would not describe the first few decades of his own life as calm. In fact, he told Rolling Stone that for much of his youth he was living in turmoil. After his father died from a heart attack in 1970, the actor's life was plunged into chaos. In 1972, he was stabbed in a gang attack while he was waiting for the bus in LA. The attack resulted in a collapsed lung, but he eventually recovered. However, that was hardly the end of his troubles. Begley was arrested for impersonating a police officer after stepping outside of a venue where he'd performed a stand-up act wearing a police costume. He was also involved in a horrific car accident that left him in a cast from the chest down, and which has caused lifelong back problems. As though that wasn't dramatic enough, Begley also discovered human remains in the trash in an alley behind his Studio City apartment. During this time in his life, he was also a self-described alcoholic. Reflecting on those shocking events years later, Begley observed to Rolling Stone, "I obviously wanted to live in turmoil, so I lived in turmoil. I know this now because none of these things happen to me anymore." Mayim Bialik is best known for playing Sheldon's girlfriend and later wife, Amy, in The Big Bang Theory, though she's also popped up from time to time on young Sheldon. She appeared in 203 episodes of The Big Bang Theory, but throughout her time on the show, Bialik struggled a lot with anxiety. On her podcast, the actor explained,
"With acting stuff, my level of anxiety surrounding performing is very, very high."
She recalled a number of times working on the show where she was given specific feedback and trying to follow through on it. However, she said it was anxiety-inducing when she would do take after take but couldn't quite hit her mark right.
I do it, but it's still not right. And sometimes it's that the audience isn't laughing, it's not funny.
Another character to appear on both The Big Bang Theory and young Sheldon is Sheldon's favorite TV scientist, Professor Proton, played by Bob Newhart. Newhart has also suffered many tragedies throughout his life. The actor lost his wife Ginny in 2023, shortly after the couple celebrated their 60th wedding anniversary. The actor wrote in a statement on X, "We lost our beloved Ginny Quinn Newhart, wife, mother, and grandmother after a long battle with illness. She was our rock, and we miss her terribly." Newhart also has his own health struggles as he's been living with a serious condition for decades. The actor was diagnosed with secondary polycythemia in 1985 after suffering from a nosebleed that wouldn't end. The disease, which he believes was caused by smoking, causes the overproduction of red blood cells. This can lead to health issues like blood clots and even strokes. Fortunately, Newhart managed to keep his symptoms at bay by quickly giving up smoking following his diagnosis. Ming-Na Wen rose to fame in the late 1990s when she voiced Disney's Chinese warrior princess Mulan. From there, she's appeared in huge TV shows like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and The Mandalorian. She also guest starred as the university professor Dr. Carol Lee in Young Sheldon. However, Wen's success in Hollywood hasn't been without its struggles. She told the Los Angeles Times in 2023, "Living in America with a name like mine, trust me, it wasn't easy. In fact, it sucked." In another interview with China's Central Television, Wen said that navigating her way through society and then Hollywood as a person of color hasn't been easy. She also said that she's faced a lot of discrimination along the way, adding, "There were a lot of times where you feel isolated or out of place as an Asian." Wen also noted that those feelings of isolation spurred her acting career, but she often had to fight harder for her career success than her white counterparts.
If you have a dream, if you have something that you want in your life, you can go after it.
Ray Liotta was one of the most famous faces to appear in Young Sheldon. He cameoed once as Meemaw's bookie in an episode from season 1. Although his appearance was brief, Liotta's character could have returned, seeing as Meemaw's gambling room became a major storyline in later seasons. But unfortunately, Liotta's life was tragically cut short. The actor, who's best known for starring in Goodfellas, died from heart failure in his sleep in 2022. Liotta was abroad in the Dominican Republic filming Dangerous Waters at the time. He played the captain in the thriller, which was released in 2023. His performances in Elizabeth Banks' comedy horror Cocaine Bear and the true crime miniseries Blackbird were also released after his death. Liotta's death came as a total shock, but his Blackbird co-star and on-screen son Taron Egerton recalled him looking frail on set. Egerton told Entertainment Weekly, "I thought I'd leave him to it, give him his space, and across the room he sort of caught my eye and just stood up, walked towards me in a sort of frail way." He added that Liotta's stance mirrored his character's ill health in the miniseries.